do you think, George?
Look, I think just in general, because, and I want to go back to what you were saying about, being as honest as possible. And the question that I had was, like the line is very, very fine to the point where if you make that decision, are you going to kill something like that could potentially be a bigger passion?
No way.
I mean, that's
I don't believe that.
no.
Look, well, sorry, wait. Let me rephrase. I believe there's a way to do it. So when I do it, and I'll say something where it's like, I'll have that conversation. I'll be like, I said something that didn't make you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Why did it make you feel good? You know what? I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it to break your feelings. I meant it this way. Are we okay? Right? I'm going to be giving you my. You gotta. There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to just sit there and start shitting on your kid. Like, I don't believe in that either.
No, it's
I'm not
not
saying that.
No, I'm
you
not
have to
saying
keep in
about
mind the
shitting on your
maturity
kid.
too.
Let's say, for example, you put the
Yeah,
kid.
you're right. Sorry, George. What Panusa said. You gotta test the maturity. Like you kind of test it out, and if you see that like, okay, yeah, he kind of gets it, then you could go more. Like now we've done this many times, so now I know where to go with it. But at the beginning, it was a little experimental. You had no idea. It's trial and error. You're not sure how it's gonna go, but it's just being honest about it and having communication.
Because here's the thing. Let's say you put the kid in like in a sport. Okay, you put him in baseball or soccer. Okay, and he's still at that age like George was talking about, where certain skills, you're at an age where you can't develop them more than that the age permits, right? I mean, you can't run faster than you think you could, or you don't have the agility or the flexibility, or you don't have these things. And you as a father, because the kid at that point, like George was saying, he just wants to see if it's fun, right? It's not like, oh, this is soccer, this is exercise, this is good for me, let me develop my interpersonal skills in a team, blah blah. Like the kid doesn't think like that. The kid thinks, okay, there's the ball, let's just all run towards it. That's why when you see little kids playing soccer, it's like 20 kids just going in circles, they're all running after the ball. So but you as a father or as a parent, when you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I don't think he has it, I don't think she's got it, and like after that semester or whatever training session is over, you tell your wife, you know what, forget about next year, it's not going to happen. But you could potentially be killing something that could develop. I'll give you an example. We put my daughter in ballet classes. My daughter, from the minute we're talking about the older one, the minute she wakes up, she's always singing, she's always dancing, she's like making up stories, like she's always doing, like she doesn't stop. I have the keyboard that I said that my father-in-law bought for her. She has no idea how to play it, but she's gonna go turn it on, just play, act like she's singing, she's making up songs, like she's always just doing shit, like she's singing, dancing, hopping, inventing things, like that's her world right now. So I think it was last year or 2 years ago. We put her. I think it was last year. We put her in a ballet class, and I think we did it 2 years straight, 2 sessions straight, and she was okay. I mean, she wasn't bad. I mean,
Two sessions. You mean like
two semesters, let's say, whatever. I don't know if
Okay,
it was
6 months basically.
years or whatever.
Okay, got it.
Let's say. And she was okay, but at some point she was just not interested, and like I would see her, she's like, she wasn't following the group, and she was she was one of those kids that everyone kind of did the same thing, and her, she was off in the corner doing something else.
Yeah.
So as a parent, I was like, okay, it's cute, whatever, she's there. I could have been like oblivious to these things and say, oh yeah, look, she's in a ballet class, but I was with my wife and I was like, do you think she's enjoying herself? Like, do you think she's having fun? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Forget ballet, Nick. Forget it. Like I don't see. It. But we made that decision, and sometimes I think back and I'm like, was that the right decision? Because I see her now and she's always expressive and she's dancing and she's hopping and she's singing and she I think she has a very big creative sense, And I was just thinking the other day, I was like, maybe should we put her back in ballet now? Maybe that she's older, she can follow better. Do we do it? Do we not do it? And we're there now. We're like, we're still debating. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't lose anything. You just put her back. You try it again. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it works, it works. But it's just you as a parent, you're constantly thinking, is she going to enjoy it? Is she going to like it? You know what I mean? I don't know. And it's not that they're at that age where you can have an honest discussion with them either, right? I mean, your son is older.
But do you guys agree? Do you and Joanna agree? Was that like a mutual agreement
to pull her out?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh no, you know what happened?
Can I elaborate?
Sorry,
Can I
sorry.
say something about what you were saying?
This
Yeah.
is what happened. We didn't pull her out. There weren't enough kids the following session, and they canceled it. I remember telling my wife, "Thank God, thank God, because it wasn't us that pulled her out." That's what happened. So that's where we're at now, So I don't know, and of course, with everything that just happened this year, I'm not. I don't know. First of all, I'm not so sure if we would have put her back, but
Is she bored?
I don't think she's bored. I don't think she gets bored at home.
So she's
She's
fine.
all over the place, guys. It's like she's gonna. First of all, there's
There's gonna be that one thing that brings it all together.
Yeah, look, I know for a fact that she's very creative.
One thing, her creative side, she'll always be creative if she takes ballet lessons or not. So maybe
it's a creative / expressive. She's like in that phase, where she's gonna.
One thing I know about these kind of courses is it requires discipline. If she's not ready for that level of discipline, it doesn't mean she's not ready to do ballet ever.
She was okay because they did that last. They did a big show there at the end, and she was okay. She followed her class. She was pretty okay,
See, this is where I disagree with you guys, because you're right. If you start seeing it as a fun element, you're right. You want her to have a good time. You want her to go socialize. You want her to see friends. You want her to maybe start coming out of her comfort. But like I said, how you do something is how you do everything. And the little lessons early on, if you show her that every time it's a little uncomfortable, every time she's not enjoying herself, she can quit. Every time it gets a little tough, I could just abandon. It just, like, I'm not saying once is going to be catastrophic, right? I'm just saying that if you do that over and over and over again, you're kind of saying something to the brain. And then every time there's a little bit of a tough bump, you don't want them quitting just because. No, you know what? You said it, George. It's discipline. And discipline is part of life. And repetition is the mother of all skill. So somewhere you got to start teaching them that, yeah, you got to do it. And even if it doesn't feel good sometimes, you got to keep doing it because what you want is you want to get the gratitude later, right? You want to get the gratification later.
You're 100% right. It's just that if the parents are putting them in the course without the kids saying, put me in the course, the kid's not dropping anything. You never asked to join.
No, but don't forget, they're at the point where they're so young that you're kind of making the decisions for them. They're never going to come out and tell you, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that.
I get it, but that's also you deciding whether they're ready or not.
Yeah, it's true. And you're not going to get this right. I'm not saying I'm right on this. I'm just saying that
I have a good example.
Yeah.
Like my son, up until this, he was doing martial arts for 3 years, from the age of 3. And I said to myself, the first year, I don't care. I'll keep paying. If he's willing to keep coming, I don't care how bad he does. I'll just make it repetitive. And then the second year, it wasn't that much better, but it was less challenging, like to get him there, the shyness, all these kind of things. And then by the third year, they put him in an advanced class, older group, where the guy's impressed, belt after belt after belt. But I had to accept that he was going to be bad at the beginning and just make it consistent that we always go there. That's where we go on Saturday. That's where we go on Tuesday. That consistency, it just created a pattern in his brain that he follows after without me needing to say. I didn't have to take any part of it. It was just between him, his instructor, and the kids who are watching him around him. Consistency did build something. I didn't get discouraged. I didn't stop taking him.
Yeah. Because
that was go ahead.
No, because later on, what you're saying is that your kid's a little bit young, but you're going to see it at a point that if it's all right to quit, if it's all right to stop, it's going to happen with homework. It's going to happen with anything that has to be done. If they feel that they could stop at any time, they will. And then they're going to give you a hard time.
Another example now.
Yeah.
My other son, I brought him for one session. I brought him for a second session. It was a disaster from the first minute to the last minute. Where the instructor said, I'm sorry, he's not ready for this. It's not for him. Don't bring him back.
And it's fine. It depends how you see it. Like, look, Yerasimo did Taekwondo for a long time. He was pretty good. Obviously, this was overridden by soccer. Soccer's the thing now, right? But with soccer, just to give you an example, with soccer now, he plays in 2 teams. He plays with Panelinos and he plays with Puma. And he goes and represents Canada and Spain. We're supposed to be in Spain this April. everything got canceled because of COVID, but it will be a second time playing there. At that level now, it's competitive. So you know what? You need to have the conversation. If you stay in the team, you got to work. If you don't feel like you're having fun, we got to get off the team, because it's not about having fun anymore. Now there's a team that depends on you, right? So now it's like, plus you're growing. So every time you grow an inch, every time you grow, you get a year older, your body changes. It's almost back to square one. Your muscles are developing. Some people grow a little bit awkwardly. So you're constantly learning. And then there's a coach, and then you got to show up on time, and you have your uniform, and so once you start going in that kind of level, you can't just quit. You can't. It's not okay. You'll quit if you really hate it. I'm never going to push you, but I'm going to be there to remind him that why he signed up.
Yeah.
And it can be easy, because quitting is easy. That's the easiest thing you can do. You just stop doing it. But what kids don't understand is that they can't wait long enough to see the benefits. Yeah. So that's when a parent has to be there just to keep that. Obviously, guys, I agree. If they're not having fun and they're being miserable, right? You don't want the world to be a dismal place for them. You don't want them to hate every time they have to go somewhere and they hate it. Forget it. You pull them out.
Yeah,
but you got to at least try.
What's interesting for you is that you have a kid that's at that age where you can actually have a serious discussion, right? Where you can sit down and say, okay, look, why do you not like it? What is it about it? And it's not going to be just like, oh, I don't like it.
But it didn't start like that. It started with quitting is not an option.
Yeah. No, but
right?
It reaches a point where your kid voices like an interest or a disinterest, for example, and he tells you, "Oh, I don't know, man, soccer. I'm not interested. I don't want to go again next year." Like, if you see that he has the potential, like he's had already. I mean, it's not, they don't take just anyone in these teams, right? So obviously the kid has some talent that has propelled him in those levels. So tomorrow your son comes to you and says, "You know what? I'm done with soccer." Because you've seen that progress, and because you, having played soccer, you know what's considered good and what sucks, because you've seen guys that shouldn't have ever been on the pitch. You know what I mean? Aren't you going to sit down and say, look, okay, well, what's the problem? Like, what is it about soccer that doesn't click? Like, you're lucky that you're at that age where you can have that one-on-one, quasi.
And it's still not like the communication. Sometimes it's one way. I'll communicate something and it won't come back, or it's going to make sense in a month from now.
Yeah.
Right. But like, he has a coach for the agility, the athletic side of the game. There's a coach that teaches the game. I have some private lessons for him with another kid that they go and they just shoot. So there's a lot of things that you have to worry about. Look, if tomorrow he says, I don't want to do it, I'm fine with it. But if he says tomorrow, I don't want to play any more soccer because I'd rather play video games, I get crazy with that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's the instant gratification that is going to steal. It's going to rob you away from something more beneficial later. Because through soccer, guys, I'm serious. It's not only the team sports is not only for their personal development. Is the synergy. It's being able to lose. It's being able to win. Understanding why winning is important. Understanding why losing is important. Understanding when somebody's out there and he's crying. Well, I saw it when they went to Barcelona. These guys got tight. They shared the room, right? They were in the hotel. They were eating together. You see that it's being part of a team is something good. We're social animals, right? We're social beings with a lot of group loyalty. And I find that everybody should at least expose their kids to that. If it doesn't work out, it's fine, but everybody should be a part of that.